mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life. We won't live in the past. We're making it alive.
It's time for another conversation. Welcome to Making It Last podcast, where it's all about helping us to have better relationships, not just with ourselves, with other people. Now, this time around, I have Megan.gaul. She's a health coach from Staten Island in the USA, specifically New York. Welcome, Megan.
Thank you so much for having me, Noreen. Nice to see you, everyone.
So, tell us a little bit in terms of why you became a health coach before we get into our topic for today.
Absolutely. I became a health coach in around 2021. Formerly, I had been a teacher, and then I worked for an education nonprofit. And the reason I wanted to switch to being a health coach is because I found myself making this health journey in 2018, 2019. I ended up losing 100 pounds, totally changing my emotional eating habits. And that gave me such a different way to look at life and what I was capable of that I really wanted to bring that kind of change to other people. So I never tried to make my career something really meaningful to me before, but that journey really prompted me to say, this is so meaningful to me that I do want to bring it to other people. So that's how I came to it.
Okay. Which then is a nice segue then into what we're going to be talking about, which is losing weight with a maintenance mindset rather than a timeline mindset.
Absolutely.
What does that mean for you?
It means that when we all approach weight loss, we tend to start with a date, right? I'm going to lose weight for my daughter's wedding, or I'm going to lose weight before I turn 40. I'm going to be 140 by 40 years old. So many of us start with this sense of urgency. And I think that is from my experience, it's such a basis for doing something really unsustainable and then falling off really fast, finding that you're just burning yourself out with the things you decide to do to lose weight. And inherently, that just helps us not maintain that weight loss. So when I say maintenance mindset, it really means step back and imagine you at the healthy weight that you imagine yourself to be in the future, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road, and picture what that person is doing to keep that weight off. Is that person still going to restaurants? Is that person still having dessert? Is that person walking more, walking less? And don't commit to the things that you can't see that person still doing 20 years down the road.
How did you get to that point, though?
So I got there, it was a very weaving way, but in my early adulthood, I had a few tries at weight loss, and they hadn't really stuck. I think in college, I lost about 40 or 50 pounds, and very slowly I just saw it come back on with friends. I think I reached the highest around 230 pounds. So what happened then was I wasn't aware of the habits that had got me to those high weights. I wasn't aware that I was kind of using food to manage my stress. I was using food as fun. And I wasn't really aware of that in any kind of conscious way. It was just happening unintentionally. So when I lost weight the last time and the final time, I didn't intend to lose weight at first. I intended to become at peace with how I was eating, because I was seeing the cycle of being guilty all the time with how I was eating. So focusing on that idea, I want to be at peace with what I'm eating. That was kind of what I pictured at the end of my journey. Like, this is kind of what I want in 10, 15, 20 years. I want to be calm with how I'm eating. I want to eat a few meals a day that are really satisfying and have fun food when I want it and not feel guilty. So that was kind of a prompt for me to say, well, maybe that's the difference. Maybe that's the difference between losing weight quickly trying to, trying to skinny yourself down for some kind of event versus let's think about what I actually want my life to look like in 15 or 20 years. So I came there slowly after a few tries, but this past, this past go round, my question has always been, are you willing to keep doing that? Are you willing for that to be a part of your life? And if my answer is no, I don't take that on as my tactic to lose weight.
I want you to backtrack a little bit. You mentioned earlier the whole idea of emotional eating. Talk about that a little bit more, because I don't think people recognize that you can tie, or more often than not, maybe unconsciously, you engage in emotional eating probably without even realizing it.
Yeah. Yes. It can take so many different forms, I think. I think it looks different for a lot of people. But what I see for myself and for many of my clients is that it either shows up as impulsive eating. So during the day, I see something and I immediately eat it, right? Like I see donuts come into the office and I say, I'm going to have one of those. It doesn't get to the thinking part of the brain. It's just a reflex.
Okay.
So that impulsive eating is often driven by the emotion in the back of the brain, the kind of emotional parts of the brain. And we don't even get to think and decide about it. Sometimes it shows up in other places. A lot of people see a pattern where they're forgetting to eat during the day, but in the evening, they're eating one thing after another thing after another thing. I know I saw that in my journey. A lot of folks who come to me see that and want to stop this nighttime overeating. And while it can have roots in a lot of things, maybe not eating enough during the day, it also has a big root in us letting the stress of the day stay in our bodies for the entire day and not having any particular way to relieve it. And then the habit becomes, I use food to relieve it. So after dinner, I still want to relax. I still feel wound up from the day. That habit of sitting down with plate after plate of food can become this cycle where that's the way that I choose to come down from the day. I saw that for myself, especially in my early adulthood, giving way too much stress to work, coming home and looking forward to hours in the evening of just watching the TV and eating, watching the TV and eating. So I was really just soothing myself. Instead of looking for healthy ways to soothe, those were the ways I was choosing to soothe. And I think a lot of people get stuck in that and feel alone because they don't tell anyone about it. Hi there, my name is Megan Gaul. I'm today's guest. Right now we're going to take a break. We're going to hear from our partners. After that, we'll be right back for more conversation.
Langdo Language Institute was created to meet your language and communication needs. All of our packages were created just for you. We are passionate about language and dedicated to your success. We offer the CSEC English program, the Study Buddy program, the Get Ahead with English program, and the Business Communication program. Contact us at 767-285-0938 or email us at landolanguage@gmail.com, because the real question is, how can we help you?
You can't live your best life without a healthy immune system. Boost your immune system the delicious way with Zappy's organic juices and punches. Made from local produce with zero added sugar, our juices cleanse and revitalize your body as they boost your natural immunity. Try our delicious flavors: Beat It, Berry Bomb, Get Fresh, Ton Up, and Island Splash. Find us on Instagram at Zappy's Organics, or call or send a WhatsApp message at 1-876-779-8910 to order today. That's 1-876-779-8910. Zappy's Organic Juices and Punches. Live your best life today.
my name is Nicky Mason, and I want to share with you my journey with Noreen Daly in my communication coaching sessions. As I went through the sessions with Noreen, I was able to recognize my strengths in communication. Some things I didn't recognize that I would do, she was able to unearth and allow me to recognize that these are some strengths that I had. I did have some weaknesses which I was challenged to overcome through research, reviewing other public speakers, and being able to sit before a camera and to speak to an audience, an invisible audience. It was fun, and as a coach, she was patient and she gave good feedback, and she was able to give me the insight into communication as to how to best use my skills, my natural communication strengths to be engaging as a speaker. And I would recommend anybody who seeks to become a more competent communicator to enroll in her program, reach out to her, and I believe you're going to enjoy the journey as much as I did. Thanks.
Hi there. Welcome back.
Well, we live in a society where a lot of events tied with food. So if there's a work event in the evening, or if there's a work event at whichever point in the day, food is attached to it. If it's a social event, food. Whatever it is, there's food attached to it. So how then do you, as an individual, try to go against what society expects you to do?
That's such a good question. And it's one of my favorites because I love celebration food.
Okay.
I love party food. I love cake. I love pizza. I love, the barbecue foods. So I find that for myself, I started by intentionally saying, I'm going to make some changes with my overall eating, right? I'm going to eat regularly throughout the day, but I'm not going to take those fun foods out of the equation. I might change how I do them. I might, instead of having everything at the party and having 4 plates, maybe I'll do 2 and just try my favorites, right? But that is such a challenge for many people. How do I change how I approach celebrations and parties, but still feel like a normal person, not feel separated from everyone else because we can't have the cookies and we can't have the pizza. So for me, I really like to help my clients kind of find, first, be intentional about what they want out of that day. So kind of find their favorites. Say if you're going to work and you really love, when everyone goes out for happy hour, you really love that cocktail that you get. Plan that into your day. But if you always end up having a few bites of this appetizer and then going out for more drinks than you intended, maybe those are the places you want to cut back. It depends on what you want the most and what you're willing to change. So, and that opens up a whole other can of worms because that takes bravery to stick to your intention when other people have seen you act a certain way for years and years. It's scary to think that someone might comment and see us change our behavior. We feel like self-conscious. So that can be a real challenge for people who are trying to change their behavior. They almost worry that other people are going to be put out and angry that we change our own behavior.
A lot of persons think that once it is that they start to change your eating habits and even try to eat healthier foods and all of that, food is such a chore now, and it's not a fun activity anymore. What would be your response to that?
So I personally love food. I don't think it's a chore. I think it's I find it relaxing to cook. I used to get wound up when I cooked because I wanted to make it just right, make sure my household liked it. But I very purposefully, I noticed that that I was getting worked up with food. And I said, this is a place I really want to relax because I'm going to be doing it every day, every week. This is the normal part of life. It's like laundry or washing the dishes. So why don't I make it a calm time? I slow down, I chop slowly. So I think one piece is, if you're viewing it as a chore, ask yourself how else you can view it. Is there another daily habit that you do that you see as fun or relaxing, or a chance for your brain to calm down from the day? Maybe open your mind about how you can look at food as a chore and change how you view it. So that's kind of one one thing I might do. What else do you hear about people saying food is a chore? What other views do you see?
I just know that the fact that anytime you're trying to eat healthier, it's usually more expensive. So then there's the economics to it as well. So people say, but I can't afford it. It's cheaper to eat junk, or it's cheaper to just whatever is available. So it's just trying to, for want of a better word, strike the balance, so to speak.
Yes. So I like that other perspective of food being a chore, because that is true, especially in certain areas. It can be prohibitive to get more fresh vegetables, more fresh fruits, whole foods, things like that. And so normally with that aspect, I would say that you don't have to transform what you're eating all at once.
Okay.
You can choose an area that maybe has the smallest economic dent to make an improvement.
Okay.
So for some people, they rely on ordering out or takeout. And that's one place that can actually be more friendly to your budget if you get more food at home, or more food at the grocery store rather than eating out. I always tell clients who are eating out a lot but really want to start cooking more at home, but they don't want to buy some of the pre-chopped vegetables because they're more expensive. I'm like, well, if you buy the pre-chopped vegetables and you end up making the dinner at home, even though the veggies were, they're 50 cents more expensive, think how much you're saving from before when you were buying the lunch from a restaurant or the dinner from a restaurant. So that's kind of another piece of it. Sometimes we see the differences between prices at the grocery store, and it seems like it's more expensive to get the healthy things or the convenient things. But if we're comparing it to when we're relying on restaurants because we don't actually cook, then it's usually the case that when you buy the grocery ingredients, it's cheaper than relying on restaurant foods for that.
Yeah. As you're wrapping up, how has this maintenance mindset impacted on your relationships, whether negatively or positively? How?
I think that when people see you making a temporary change, I guess for me, when people saw me making a change in early parts of losing weight, so the first time and the second time, the kind of unsuccessful times, I remember folks commenting and complimenting when they saw me getting smaller. But then when I saw myself regain the weight, there were crickets. There was no one reaching out about help or about. And so what that's signal to me is that sometimes people's views on what I'm trying to do it shouldn't really define how I feel about how successful I am, because they're more in their heads about whatever you're doing, what that means for them. So if they might comment on my change in weight, that usually means that they're kind of thinking about it themselves. They're kind of making a comparison with themselves. So it's best for me to kind of tune that out and decide what I want out of my health changes, and not let someone's positive comments or negative comments impact my plan to get to the healthy weight that I want to get to. But I think approaching weight loss with a maintenance mindset has also helped me. It's helped me groove into this life and feel more confident in my decisions working for my health, so that I can kind of now push all that to the side. That's handled. And I feel the confidence to just kind of show up more in life. I think I'm a better friend. I think I'm a better listener. I think I'm a better, definitely better at going out socially and speaking more, meeting more people. I think the process of finding a healthy weight and getting that handled has really helped me kind of open up and and show up in social situations with much more a sense of safety and security with myself. And I'm able to kind of put myself aside and now become part of the community because I don't need to over focus on myself, which is kind of what I was doing when I was stressed, overeating, feeling guilty, feeling emotional.
Okay. Of all the things that you've shared, if there's one point you'd want to say, if you get nothing else, all that I said points to this one point, what would that one point be?
If you're approaching your health with a sense of urgency, it's going to cause you to do some things that you don't want to keep up long term. So approach your health with a sense of curiosity and with a sense of positivity. And that's going to help you choose the things that feel more right to you and that will last longer.
Thank you so much for sharing, Megan.
Yes, thank you, Noreen. I really appreciate it. It was really nice to be on.
This was Making It Last podcast, where it's all about helping us to have better relationships, not just with ourselves, with other people. I'm Noreen Daly. Until next time.
Mothers and fathers, husbands